So, good evening, everyone. I'm here on YouTube to have some discussions about the upcoming Assam TET. Most specifically, I'll discuss about the social science portion of Assam history, and that covers under the upper primary level TET examinations to be conducted on 31st October 2021. I believe all of you have well prepared. So this video is an effort to have revision or to have a quick look of some important points from the Assam history part that is included in the syllabus, and also I'll try to highlight some important points which may be useful for the exam point of view. And all of you know, as far as the syllabus is concerned, as far as the syllabus concerned, here in the syllabus what we can see is the prehistory part of Assam. Also, we need to have some important points to be known, that is the geographical location of ancient Kamrupa and also the socio-economic condition of ancient Kamrupa. So apart from that also we have three dynasties to be understood for exam point of view, and firstly the Varman dynasty, secondly Salastamba dynasty, and thirdly the Pal dynasty. These three dynasties of ancient Kamrupa is included in the syllabus, and I'll try to cover up in my video about these portions, that is the prehistory of Assam and also the subsection included in it. So dear friends, this video I'll try it again. I'll make it clear to you all that this video is nothing but an effort to have some highlighted points that may be useful for the upcoming exam, that is Assam TET point of view. And apart from that also what we can see in the syllabus is that the medieval Assam in this portion it is included the Ahom, the Chutias, the Koch kingdom, the Barabhuya, and the Kacharis. So dear friends, in this video uh, I'll try to cover up the ancient portions only, and this medieval portion of Assam I will try to discuss in my next videos. So moving on to my videos, we'll move on to the next part, that is the geographical location of ancient Kamrupa. Geographical location of ancient Kamrupa. I think before that we need to know some few facts about the Kamrupa. Kamrupa is nothing but the ancient name or the previous name of our state, that is Assam. Another name for the state Assam is the Pragjutisa. Pragjutisa, firstly, and secondly, that is Kamrupa. And presently, all of us know that Kamrup is a part of Assam. There is a district, Kamrup district, and it is also divided into rural Kamrup and metro Kamrup. There is a few facts about, and also when we talk about the mention of the ancient Kamrupa, we have a text, that is Purana, and also the inscriptions that mention about the ancient Kamrupa is the Alabar pillar inscription of Samudragupta. Samudragupta is nothing but a king during the Gupta dynasty. So when we talk about the important questions that may be asked in examinations, that in which text the name of ancient Kamrup is mentioned, the obviously the answer will be Puranas. And secondly, in which pillar inscriptions of Gupta dynasty the mention of Kamrupa is found, then obviously the answer will be Alabar pillar inscription. So this may be important for the exam point of view. And moving on to the next part, about all of us know that the epics of Ramayana and Mahabharata. The epics of Ramayana and Mahabharata. So, according to Ramayana, the Pragjyotisa, that is the ancient name of Assam, was founded, or the region of Pragjyotisa, the region of Pragjyotisa was founded by Amartya Raja, and let us know that Amartya Raja was nothing but the son of Kusha, and Kusha is the son of Raja Ram, that is the king of Ayodhya. So when we ask about, according to Ramayana, who has founded Pragjyotisa, that the answer will be Amartya Raja. And also in the epic Ramayana and Mahabharata, the mention about the boundary of ancient Kamrupa is founded. So when we talk about the two epics, when we talk about two epics, Ramayana and Mahabharata, Ramayana, that is, we need to know that Ramayana was authored by Valmiki, and secondly, Mahabharata was authored by Ved Vyas. So these two epics were authored by Valmiki and Vedvyas respectively. So in these two epics also, the mention of ancient Kamrupa's boundary also found, and it extended up to river Karatea to the west, and secondly, river Karatea presently in Bengal, not Bengal, in Bangladesh, and secondly up to the south of Bay of Bengal. So these are the important points that may be highlighted in our mind for exam point of view. And when we are asked, according to Ramayana, who have founded Pragjyotisa, answers will be Amartya Raja. And secondly, in which the epics the mention of ancient Kamrupa's boundary is found, the answers will be Ramayana and Mahabharata. This is up to river Karata to the west, and secondly, Bay of Bengal, that is south. So this may be remembered. This may be remembered for the exam point of view. And secondly, let's move on to the next portions. That is, according to Yoganitantra. Yoganitantra is nothing but the tantric text. Specifically, it is talks about Hindu goddess Kali and also Ma Kamakhya. It is Hindu goddess Kali and Ma Kamakhya. The Yogini Tantra. According to Yogini Tantra, that is a tantric text, Kamrupa was divided into four parts. So that is the most important point of view as far as the geographical locations or the boundary of ancient Kamrupa is concerned. When we talk about the division of ancient Kamrupa, we need to remember these four parts of ancient Kamrupa. Number one, Ratnapit, that is Karatea to the Sankosh river. Presently, it is in Goalpara region. Secondly, Kampit, that is Sankosh river to Rupohi. Presently, it is in Kamrup region. Thirdly, Sornapit, that is Rupohi river to the Bharali river, that is central Assam presently. And fourthly, that is Somarpet, that is Bharali river to the Dika river, that is presently in the eastern part of Assam. So, this may be important for exam point of view. When we are asked about the division of ancient Kamrupa, then we need to refer the ancient tantric text, that is Yoganitantra, which talks about the four division of ancient Kamrupa: Ratnapit, Kampit, Swarnapit, and Somarpit. These 4 points may be highlighted in our mind and may be remembered for the exam point of view. I'll try to show you a map that I have collected from the class 7th Assam history text. So in this map, what we can find is the boundary of, or the division of ancient Kamrupa. So here we can see the Ratnapit. As far as the Ratnapit is concerned, Karatoya river, that is the Karatoya river, and Karatoya river to the Sankosh river up to this. This is Ratnapit. That is Ratnapet, and now presently these portions is in the Goalpara region. And secondly, Kampit, that is Sankosh river. It is the Sankosh river, Sankosh river to Rupohi river, Sankosh river to Rupohi river. It is the Rupohi river, and this portion is known as Kampit. Pit, Kampit, and thirdly that is Swarnapit from Rupohi River to the Bhoral River. This is the Bhoral River. In the map we can see this is Swarnapit, and fourthly that is Somerpit, that is Bhoral River to the Dikai River. This is the Dikai River. So these portions is known as Swarnapit. So I have collected this map from the class 7 Assam history book. So here we can see the boundary or the division of Assam in four pits or four parts as far as the Yoganitantra is concerned. So this may be also important for the exam point of view. And this is the presently the new map of Assam. And moving on to the socio-economic condition of ancient Kamrupa. In the first part, we have learned about the name of uh, the name of the previous names of the Assam, that is Pragjotisa and Kamrupa, and also the founder of Pragjotisa as far as Ramayana is concerned, and also the boundary that is covered in ancient Kamrupa as far as the two epics of India is concerned, that is Ramayana and Mahabharata. And thirdly, also we have discussed about the Yoganitantra and also its division of ancient Kamrupa, that is four part: Kampit, Kampit, Radnapit, Swarnapit, and Somerpit. The four pit that is we have discussed. And now moving on to the next portion, that is the socio-economic condition of Kamrupa. How when we talk about socio-economic condition, that is firstly, let's discuss about economic conditions. So, as far as the economic condition is concerned, that is the ancient Kamrupa is totally dependent on agriculture, and shifting cultivation method is being followed. So, secondly, crop like mustard seed, jute, sugar canes, and various fruits and vegetables are also being agriculture or cultivated. So, this is the economic condition. That is when we talk about economic condition, then we need to remember that the agriculture and the shifting cultivation method, and also what are the crops that are being produced or agricultured or cultivated during the ancient Kamrupa. And secondly, so here I think all of you know the Huan Sang. All of you know about the Huan Sang. He is nothing but a Chinese traveler, who came to Assam during Bhaskar Bhaskar Varman in 640 AD. So it is very important for exam point of view that during Bhaskar Varman, whose Chinese traveler visited Assam or Kamrupa, that is Huan Sang. So or another question may be asked that, and Huan Sang visited during which which king, that is Burman, Bhaskar Burman. So Huan Sang in his book Siyuki mentioned that cultivation was done through irrigation system in the kingdom of Kamrupa. So it is most important point of view that irrigation method also being followed during ancient Kamrupa, during the kingdom of Kamrupa. And secondly, the jackfruit, betel nuts, and mangoes were cultivated in a large number. So it is maybe important for exam point of view that who has written the book Siyuki, then we have to answer is Huan Sang. And in Siyuki, in his book, Huan Sang mentioned that irrigation system was being followed in agriculture system or in cultivation during the kingdom of Kamrup. So this may be important for exam point of view. So let's moving on to the next, that the chief exported crop, that is bay leaf, spice leaf, during ancient Kamrupa. During ancient Kamrupa, which crop is mostly exported? So answer will be bay leaf, that is spice leaf. And Ramayana and the Arthashastra also mention that Eri, Muga, silk, cotton clothes were woven. Arthashastra, that is Kautilya, written by Kautilya Ramayana, that is written by Valmiki. They have also mentioned in their text that in during ancient Kamrupa, eri cultivation, muga, silk, cotton clothes were highly woven. Also, notable profession followed during ancient Kamrupa is that fishing, gold washing, and weaving. When we talk about the profession that profession followed, then we need to remember fishing, gold washing, and weaving. So this may be important for exam point of view. I have highlighted in this video, and when we are asked about which one of the following is the ancient or the notable profession followed during ancient Kamrupa, then these 3 points we need to remember: fishing, gold washing, and weaving. And secondly, name the crop that was cheaply exported to the other region from ancient Kamrup. Then we need to remember bay leaf or spice leaf. So these are some important points that I try to highlight for an exam point of view. Moving on to next, and product found. What are the product found during ancient Kamrupa? That is silver, can, bamboo products are also found. Then business relations, where we can talk about Tibet, Bhutan, China, and Sri Lanka. These are the regions that ancient Kamrup has mentioned their business relations with, and also the product of silver can and bamboo products are highly seen. And also, in order to have the east trade relation with other regions, the sea road has been used. That is the Brahmaputra and the Ganga River. The Brahmaputra and the Ganga River has been used as sea road for trade relation. Sea route for trade relations. So uh, eh, here the question may be asked. Here question may be asked during ancient Kamrupa, which regions are mostly found to be found to be important for the trade relation with ancient Kamrupa: Tibet, Bhutan, China, and Sri Lanka. So these points may be remembered for the exam point of view. Moving on to the next portion, that is a social condition. So earlier we have discussed about economic economic condition. Economic condition. So earlier discussed about economic condition, and now we will discuss about social condition. That is, how was the society, how the structure of society was during ancient Kamrupa. So here I have highlighted some important points. Mostly not much based on Hindu caste system because of the highly populated non-Aryans. Non-Aryans are termed as foreigner during ancient period, and secondly, Brahman was placed highly in a society. So Brahmanism is followed, and they were high position in a society. Thirdly, the system of sati and pada were not prevalent. This portion is also important. When we ask about sati and pada system, Pada system is highly followed in Muslim religion, and sati system was highly followed in Hindu religion in ancient period. So this is what we have to remember. The sati and pada system was not prevalent during ancient Kamrupa. This is the part of a social system. And thirdly, the child marriage, polygamy, and widow marriage were prevalent. Child marriage and polygamy. When we talk about polygamy, that is having more than one wife, that is followed, and also widow marriage were prevalent during the ancient Kamrupa. This is some important points I'll highlight it here as far as the socio conditions of ancient Kamrupa is concerned. Moving on to the next point, that is intercaste marriage was limited. Intercaste marriage was limited. Rice was a staple food, and people use alkali, that is khar, made from the banana tree due to the scarcity of salt. That is, alkali is a type of khar made from a banana tree, and it was prevalently used during ancient Kamrupa, during ancient period of Assam, because of the scarcity of salt. So these points may be remembered. So when we talk about how was the socio-economic condition, that the few points may be remembered. That is, sati was not prevalent, widow widow remarriage widow marriage was prevalent. Also, polygamy was prevalent. Polygamy was prevalent. So these important points can be remembered. And also the Brahmin were placed in the higher position. That is also can be remembered. So these are a few points that I have highlighted as far as the social condition of ancient Kamrupa is concerned. Now I have completed the socio and economic condition of ancient Kamrupa, and also the geographical location of ancient Kamrupa. And now moving on to the next point, covering the prehistory of Assam, that is the three dynasties of Assam: ancient dynasty, Burman dynasty, Salatambai dynasty, and Pal dynasty. I'll try to bring some important highlighted points which may be useful for the exam point of view. So firstly, let's move on to the Burman dynasty. So in Burman dynasty, the period is 350 CE to the 655 CE. The founder is Pushyavarman, most important, that is exam point of view, and it was founded in 350 CE. So when we ask who was the founder, then of Burman dynasty, the answer will be Pushyavarman. This question is asked mostly in the examination, and when was it founded? In 350 CE. So king of Burman dynasty who took Mahadhiraja title. King of Burman dynasty who took Mahadhiraja title. So here Pushyavarman, Vutivarman, Pushyavarman, Bhutivarman and Bhaskar Varman. These are the kings of Varman dynasty who took the Mahadhiraja title. So it is believed that there are there are 13 kings during Varman dynasty. There are 30 kings during Varman dynasty, and most importantly, for example point of view, we have to know some few facts about the Varman, Bhaskar Varman. Bhaskar Varman, that is one of the greatest ruler during Varman dynasty. Uh, so moving on to the next, that is about Varman dynasty. So Varman dynasty mention is found in Nildhampur copper plate inscription of Bhaskar Varman, and also Harsha Charita. It is a book about uh, Banabhata, and also the account of Yumsang, that is Siyuki. So these three accounts, the mention of Burman dynasty is mostly found. So firstly, Nildhampur copper plate inscription of Vaskar Burman. Secondly, Harsha Charita written by Banabhanata, and also the account of Yumsang about that is Siyuki mentioned about the Burman dynasty. So next point, there is the king of Assam who performed Ashwamedha, that is Mahendra Varman. It is one of the greatest king of Varman dynasty, and it is believed to be the first king of Assam, who performed Ashwamedha. So when we talk about Ashwamedha, Then we have to know that Ashwamedha is nothing but horse horse sacrifice rituals. Horse sacrifice ritual. Horse sacrifice ritual. And Mahendra Varman was believed to be the first king who performed the horse sacrifice in ancient Assam. So these are the important points about Varman dynasty. We need to remember for exam point of view. First of all, First of all, the Nildhampur Kapalkat institution of Bhaskar Varman, Harsacharita by Banabhatta, and also the Account of Sang, that is Siyuki, and also the first king of Assam that performed Ashwamedha, that is Mahendra Varman. There is some important points for the exam points of view. Moving on, uh, that is the most important that we need to know under the Burman dynasty, that is Bhaskar Burman. Bhaskar Burman. So he is the 13th ruler of Burman dynasty. Bhaskar Burman is Bhaskar Burman is nothing but the 13th number of ruler of Burman dynasty. He is the son of Sudhista Burman. So he ruled more over 50 years. He ruled 50 years in ancient Kamrupa. Ancient Kamrupa, that is Pragjyotispur. 50 years. He ruled Pragjyotispur for 50 years, that is Vaskar Varman, and he is the 13th ruler of Varman dynasty and the son of Solista Varman. That may be remembered or highlighted in our mind for exam point of view. And he Sang visited Kamrupa during Vaskar Varman, that is 643 AD. 643 AD, that is Sang, a Chinese traveler. A Chinese traveler that came to Assam, that came to Kamrupa during the reign of Bhaskar Varman, and Bhaskar Varman is none other than the 13th ruler of Varman dynasty. Sang referred Bhaskara as the king of Eastern India. As the king of Eastern India, that is also an important point that we have to remember. Also, Nidhampur Grant is nothing but the issue of land done by the Bhaskar Varman. So this point may be remembered. And also the seal of Bhaskar Burman has been discovered at the site of Nalanda. At the site of Nalanda. So it can be asked in the examination that in which in which site and the seal of Bhaskara, that is Bhaskar Burman, has been discovered or found. The answer should be Nalanda. And also, what is Nilanpur Gran? Then we have to remember that it is the issue of land by Bhaskar Burman. And also, who referred Bhaskara as the king of Eastern India? Then the answers will be Yuan Sang, and the answers will be Yuan Sang. And also who is the who was the third ruler of Varman dynasty? Answers will be Bhaskar Varman. Then who is the father of Bhaskar Varman? That is answer will be Sudhista Varman. And during whose reign Yuan Sang, a Chinese traveler, visited Kamrupa, that is the Bhaskar Varman, in 643 AD. That is most important questions that are asked mostly in the Assam examination. So these are some important points that I have highlighted. So there are others rulers from Burman dynasty, and these are like these are like Mahendra Varman. Then secondly Bhutia Varman. Thirdly Sutista Varman. Sutistha Varman. Then Bhaskara Varman, and many others. So these are the important points that I have discussed. And as far as the Harsha Varman is concerned, he became the supreme lord of the Eastern India. Once he became the supreme lord of Eastern India, he was one of the greatest ruler, one of the greatest ruler of Assam. and he also bought some territory under his kingdom. These are included like Sylhet also brought under his territory. Then Tripura, Tripura also brought under his territory, and also Southeast Bengal. Bengal also brought under his territory. That is Bhaskar Burman. So he's one of the greatest ruler. And during his reign only, and during his reign, he has discovered sea road. He has discovered sea road to China. Sea road to China for some trade purposes. So during which reign the sea road to China was made or discovered, then the answers will be Bhaskar Varman. Bhaskar, he is also called as the second Brihaspati. Brihaspati, second Brihaspati is also called second Brihaspati because of his depth knowledge. So Bhaskar Burman is also regarded as second Brihaspati because of his depth knowledge, and he discovered sea road to China for trade purposes. And during his reign, Yuan Sang also visited Kamrupa in 643 AD. He is also called as the king of Eastern India by Yuan Sang, and Nildarpon grant is issue of land done by Bhaskar Burman. So these are the important points of view as far as the Burman dynasty and most specifically Bhaskar Burman is concerned, and that may be asked for exam view. So maybe remember view.